Yo, what's up guys, back again with another video in the Spigot series. This time I'm going to teach you how to make a teleport bow plugin.
Is it love or is it lies? 'Cause I don't know who to trust. So I might as well have fun. If it's true, the good die young. Do you love me or my drugs? These games keep fucking me up. So I might as well have fun. If it's true.
Alright guys, so last episode we made the fly plugin, which was our most advanced plugin yet. But now we're going to make an even more advanced one, and it's like a plugin that makes you, well, it gives you a bow, and then if you shoot the bow, wherever the arrow lands, that's where it'll teleport you, okay? So it's going to be a teleport bow plugin, and it's going to give you, it's going to have some more features than just that, okay? It's going to be pretty cool. So yeah, let's just go ahead and make it. So let's go ahead and name everything. So teleport bow, we need Illuminati Productions. Alright. Looks good to me. Alright, looks good. Here we go. Oops, I gave it the wrong name by accident. Oh crap, let me try renaming it. Refactor, rename, teleport bow, just like that. Enable auto import. It did not rename it, that's annoying. Let me give it 1 second. Okay, whatever. I guess you can't change the name of the folder, but you can change the name of the class and all that, so that's fine. So let's just go ahead and get rid of this. And so the first thing we want to do, of course, if we're going to make this plugin, is make the command that spawns the bow, right? Because we're going to make it so they can, you know, do /tp bow, and then it'll give them a bow that they can use to, you know, spawn, you know, arrows or whatever. Or not spawn arrows, what am I saying? To shoot, and then it'll teleport them, okay? So it'll give them the teleport bow. So anyway, let's make a commands package here. So commands, and let's go ahead and make it a events one too, because we're gonna have some events. So commands, events, and then commands, we're gonna make a new class called teleport bow command, and that's gonna be the, of course, the command I just told you about. So it's gonna be a command executor, and then we need to implement the on command method here. Return true. There we go. So now we can actually code the command now. So what we want to do first of all is usually what we always do is just check and see if a player is executing this command. So there we go. We need to import player. Alright, so there we go. And then inside of here we can start putting some information, like, you know, giving them the bow and all that fun stuff. So let's do player is equal to player sender, some basic stuff we've already done multiple times. And so now we want to actually, you know, give them the bow. But first let's check and see if they have permission to actually spawn a bow or run this command. So as command, or as permission, tp bow .spawn bow. And then here finally we'll do that. So if we're going to give them a bow, we need to make a bow. So we're going to make an item stack here. So item stack, we'll call it teleport bow. So this is going to represent the bow that they actually are receiving. So teleport bow is equal to new item stack, and then it's going to be a, of course, if you do control P, you can see what we need to put inside of here. So the block itself, the material, so material bow. There we go. So it's going to give them, or it's going to, this is going to create a bow item or item stack, and then now we need to give it to the player. So we'll do that down here. So player dot, and then we need to get the player's inventory, you know, their main inventory. So get inventory, and then we can add the item to the inventory like that. So teleport bow, boom, just like that. Before we do that, let's configure the metadata of the bow so we can give it some custom features, or, you know, stuff like that. So item meta. Meta is equal to, let's see, teleport bow dot get meta, and then we're going to configure the meta. So set the display name, and we'll just do chat color dot blue, or aqua, actually not blue. We'll say teleport bow. There we go. Alright, so then we'll have some other features like set unbreakable. We'll make it so the bow cannot break. And then we'll say, let's give it an enchantment, by the way. We'll do that right here. So we can make it so the bow does not run out of arrows and stuff like that. So teleport bow dot add unsafe enchantment, enchantment arrow infinite, and we'll set it to like 666, whatever you want to do. There we go. So now let's also set some more information. We'll set the, let's set the lore. Let's make some lore for it. So we'll do Arraylist string. If you're wondering what I'm doing, then you could just watch 2 episodes ago, which is when I went over how to use inventories and items, stuff like that, okay? So string lore is equal to new Arraylist, okay? And so this is going to hold our lore, so we're going to do lore add, let's see here. This is a bow that can teleport you wherever the arrow decides to land, just like that. Looks good to me. That's a good amount of stuff we can add to it. So let's go ahead and set the metadata. So meta dot teleport bow dot set meta. There we go. So that's going to add everything, and then we can just get rid of this empty space. And so basically, just to recap, we made a bow, we added some enchantment, and then we changed the metadata, we added like a name, made it unbreakable, and then added a description to the bow, and then finally we gave them the bow to their inventory, okay, to the first available slot. So that's pretty much it for this command, because that's all we needed to do is just give them the bow. So let's register the command so we can test it out. So get command tpbow.sec executor new teleport bow command, just like that. Pretty simple stuff, as you know. And also we need to register, of course, I can't forget that, don't ever forget that. TPBow description teleport anywhere with a bow usage command. Alright, good stuff. So let's run this and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so we're on the server. I loaded up the plugin, so let's test it out. TPBow, and nothing happens. Oh, there we go, it just took a second. Alright, cool, so it actually worked. Let's check out the metadata, and it says teleport bow, and it's unbreakable. Oh, we forgot to add the lore, so we need to go back here real quick, and then we need to do, let's see, right there, we'll do meta.add lore, or set lore, there we go, and then we just plug it in like that, okay? So anyway, we'll do that after, but we were successfully able to make a command that gives us a bow. So now the next logical step to our plugin development will be to, of course, make it so that whenever they shoot it, wherever the arrow lands, it'll teleport us, okay? So that's going to be the major part of this, tutorial, of course. So what we need to do is make an event for that, and the event will be basically whenever an arrow hits somewhere, we need to take that arrow and get the location of it and then teleport the person to that location, okay? That's basically how it's going to work, okay? So let's try all of that out. So we need to make a new event, event, new Java class, we'll call it teleport bow event, alright? And so like I said, on impact, we need to, or not implement, we need to implement. And so let's do implements, listener, there we go. Alright, make sure it's the Bukkit listener. So anyway, like I said, we need to make it so that whenever the arrow hits something, then we need to get the location and all that. So the event that we would use for that is called Projectile Hit Event. So let's do event handler, public void on bow shoot. You can call it whatever you want, obviously. I'm gonna just call it that. And then we need to, choose an event. So we'll do projectile hit event. So whenever the arrow hits something. And obviously there's multiple projectiles in the game. You can do a snowball, stuff like that. So we need to check and see if it was an arrow, okay? So we'll do e.getEntity because we want to get the event entity, the one that would trigger the event. So if the event entity is instance of, and then there's an arrow class right there. So we can get it if it matches, if it matches the object of arrow or class of arrow, then we can go ahead and execute this here, okay? So if not, then it won't do anything, obviously. So yeah, if it's an arrow, then we want to do some stuff. So we want to get the player that shot the entity, or that, and then we'll do player, and then we want to get the player. So e.get entity .get shooter. So that's how we get the person who shot the arrow or entity, or yeah, arrow in this case at least. So by the way, if you go to shooter, it says on the right side projectile source, and we want a player, right? So that's why we're casting it, because it's not exactly a player. It's a projectile source, so we're casting projectile source to player, so it matches. So anyway, that's we're going to do that. So now that we have the player, we can teleport the player wherever we want to teleport them, right? But before we teleport them, we need to get a location to teleport them to. So we'll do location is equal to, and of course we want to get where the arrow hit, right? That's the location where we're going to teleport the user to. So we're going to do e.getEntity.get location. That's all we got to do. Pretty simple stuff. And so we want to teleport the player to that location now. So player.teleport. There we go. So then we can just plug in location like that, and so it'll teleport that player to that location. So that should work. So let's test. Well, let's send a command or a message with it also. So send message. We'll say let's say swoosh if they're teleported correctly. Okay, pretty simple stuff. So let's go ahead and test this out. Oh wait, we actually need to register first, of course. Can't forget that. So we're gonna go back here and register it. So we'll do get server .get plugin manager .register events new teleport bow event. There we go, and then this. Awesome. So that's gonna do all that for us, and I'll be right back so we can test it out. So TP bow. Now we get a bow. Awesome. Let's see if the lore is here now. So yep, we have the lore. It's kind of hiding it. I don't know why it does that, but yeah. Anyway, so it worked. So we have the bow. So let's try doing the thing. So whoop, boom, and look, it said swoosh. So it teleported us correctly. Awesome, right? So it completely works. So now we can teleport anywhere we want to go. Awesome. So that's pretty cool, right, guys? Hopefully you like that. It's a pretty simple, feature, but it's pretty complex for what we've done so far. So let's keep adding more features to it. So if we go back here, let's make it so that it plays a sound whenever the player lands somewhere. That's kind of cool, right? So let's try that out. So we'll do player.send sound, or no, sound, play sound. And then so for the first parameter, we want the location of the sound, obviously. So we'll do player.get location, the new location. And then now we want the sound itself, so we'll do sound dot, and then now we have every sound in the whole game. Pretty cool stuff. So we're gonna choose whatever we want. We'll do, let's find something cool. We can do a cat purr. That's kind of cool. And then now the next parameter is going to be the float, which is the variable is a float, right? So we need a float value, and it's going to be the volume. So I think the highest volume you could put is a 1, so 1.0, and then F at the end because it's a float, and then same for pitch. So just put those default values pretty much. So that will play the sound. Let's add some configuration like we did last time, where the person who owns the plugin or uses the plugin on the server can change what messages are sent. So we're going to make it config.yml. Just like this. Alright. So first let's make it so they can configure the name of the bow. So the bow name, we'll call it that, bow name. And then let's make a default value here. We'll do @f e, or not @f, I mean and f teleport bow. Just like that. So that's going to add that. Okay. And so the next step would make it so that we can use the get config method inside of here. Of course, like we did last time, we need to of course make a variable reference of the main class. So let's do that. So plugin, or no, not plugin, teleport bow plugin, and then we need a constructor here. So code generate constructor. Okay, and then we're going to go back here to our main class. And let's register or set up our configuration. So git config. I did command again by accident. Git config to options. So I copy defaults, and then we want to save the default config, just like that. Pretty simple. And then of course we want to plug the main method into here. Good stuff. Now we have access to the git config method inside of here, so we can put some default values. So let's do check color dot translate, and we'll put the and. Now we can put the value. So plugin.getConfig. git config.get string bow name. So that's going to get the bow name and then put it in there for us. Pretty good stuff. Now we can add the lore, so let's make another value here. So bow description. Awesome. Then we'll have that default value there. We'll just take you, Control X to cut it, and then Control V to paste it. And so there we go. We'll make this green. Alright. Okay, we'll just copy this one. There we go. Throw it in there. And then scroll back over this way. Bow description. Alright, so there we go. And let's do another one. We'll do this one here, the swoosh, what should we call it? I don't know, what should we call it? We'll call it the teleport message. Okay, so whenever they teleport, it'll say swoosh, right? So there we go. So we're gonna add that now. Oh yeah, we need to register everything inside of here also. Or not register, I mean make our, reference to the main. Okay. Oh wait, we imported the wrong thing a second ago. It's not plugin. It's teleport bow, just like that. Okay. Then code generate constructor. Boom. There we go. So now we can go back here to the right and then change this to teleport message. Alright, so that should add some configuration and our, the sound that we added too. So let's test all of that out and I'll be right back. Oh yeah, by the way, we need to plug in this right here. I forgot to tell you that. And do it. So this right there. So that will of course, send the main class here to our teleport bow events for us. Okay, so let's run this. Okay, so we're on the server. Let's try doing everything. So now we shot the arrow. And then whoa. Hopefully you heard that. That was a weird kind of purr whenever I landed. And then at the bottom it says swoosh. And let's go ahead and look at the bow. Let's make a new one, TP bow. And yeah, as you can see on the left, it's green now. So that means that the description that we added in our config.yml was, able to work. So yeah, all of that works. So we were able to make a plugin that, can give a player a bow and then they can shoot the bow and then land or teleport wherever the bow lands. Pretty cool stuff, right? And then of course it's configurable. And yeah, so I have an idea for one more feature before we end this episode. How about we make it so that the the server owner can choose in the config.yml if they want the bow to be given to the player on spawn, or join. So whenever they join the server, it gives them a bow, right? Because for example, someone might use the plugin on a hub server, right? So if they want the player to have a bow to play around with, they can have that option. So basically what I'm saying is we can make option in the config.yml. So if they'll put true if they want the player to spawn with a bow when they join, or false if they don't want that. They have to run the command to give a bow, okay? So anyway, let's just try all that. So we're going to call the option give bow on join, and then it's going to be a boolean, so true or false. So by default it'll be true. Give them a bow on join, okay? So yeah, so what we need to do for that, I'm thinking, is make a whole nother event. So whenever they join, it'll trigger the spawn event, and then it'll know when to give them, the bow, right? So let's try that out. We'll make a spawn event. Okay, and then just make everything we need. So implement listener. Alright. So public void on spawn event, and it's going to be the player join event, so whenever they join the server, right? And it's going to be E, and then so the first thing we want to do, of course, is make it so that it checks to see if the value in here is enabled, right? If it's true. So the way we do that, of course, is going to be to have a variable reference. So teleport bow plugin. Then we need our thing here. There we go. Okay. One more thing is we need to register it. Git command. Or wait, it's a event. So git server. I'll git plugin manager. Register events. New spawn event. this. There we go. So it's going to do all that for us. And let's try it out now. So we'll go back. And so what's the error here? Let's see. That's weird. So now we can check and see in our if statement what the value of this config give bow on join variable thingy is. So get our plugin dot get config dot get boolean give, or is it get or give? Let's see. Give bow on spawn. Give bow. Oh my. Give bow on spawn. And if you just leave it like that, it's gonna say basically it's the same thing as putting is equal to true, right? It's the same thing. So if it's true, then we want to run this here. Where is it? The teleport bow command. We want to give them a bow, right? So if it's true, if they want the bow to be given them to on spawn, whenever they join the server, it's going to run this command here. And so player is going to be equal to e.get player player is equal to e.get player. There we go. So that's what player is going to be equal to. So there we go. So as you can see here, it's giving this really annoying underline thing because all of this is duplicate code. So what we should do is, like we did last episode, is take this duplicate code from both of things here and make them into a method, right? And so I think since they're both in separate classes, we should make the method inside of the main class here. So we'll make it down here. We'll call it get or give player bow. Oh wait, we need to say public void give player bow. So this is a method that's going to give the player the bow, of course. And let's make player a thing, of course, so they can, you know, do that stuff. And anyway, so now we'll cut this here and then just plug it right in there. So it's going to add all of that. And so now what we can do is do plugin, so we can access the main class dot give player bow, and then we can just plug in player just like that, right? It's perfect. And then the same thing exactly for here. So plugin dot give player bow player, just like that. So it's going to do the same thing for both. And so just a recap of what we did here is, well, actually we need this, by the way. If this is ever grayed out, make sure you have the @event handler annotation right there. So yeah, just a recap, whenever they join the server, it's going to check and see if the config is enabled to give them a bow on spawn. And if it is enabled, then it's going to run the give player bow method, which in the main class is a method that makes a bow, adds all this crap to it, and then gives it to them, okay? So that's pretty cool stuff. And of course we need to do, instead of plugin, we'll do this, because this is the class where you access plugin from usually. So that will do that for us. Pretty cool stuff. So let's try running all of this. Oh, I accidentally put spawn instead of join. I'm such a doofus. So we're gonna change that and I'll be right back. Okie dokie, so let's join and it should give us a bow finally. And boom, we got a bow. And as you can see, the name is a little messed up, but that's fine. We can just change that in the config.yml if we want to. So let's try using it. Boom, and now we get a creepy purr sound coming out of my speaker. And it works. Pretty cool stuff. So that's pretty much it for this plugin. Hopefully you liked it. If you liked it, leave a like. If you have any suggestions for any future plugins, you could of course ask me or leave a comment in the comment section, and I'll probably maybe do it if it's good enough. So yeah, if you have any ideas, make sure you leave a comment. And so basically what we did, just to recap, is we made a plugin that, you know, gives us a bow, and then we could use the bow to teleport places. But we also added it to make it more configurable, so we added some good options in the config.yml so they can, you know, change whether they want to have certain stuff, and then change the messages and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. So hopefully you like that. And yeah, so next episode we're probably going to make another plugin. We're going to call it the freeze plugin. So it's a plugin that allows you to freeze players and yourself, and it's pretty much like a staff command. If the staff wants to freeze like a hacker on their server, they can do that. Pretty simple stuff, but yeah, it's going to be pretty cool just for more experience. And yeah, alright guys, so hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or anything, you need help or anything, you can ask in the comment section below. Or if you want to join our Discord, you could do that too. You can ask questions, hang out with us, anything you want to do. That's in the description, where you can check the link out and join and everything like that. Also, finally, we have the link to today's code. It'll also be in the description for you, all of this here. So make sure you check that out. Also, it's very useful for you know, like basically, you know, keeping track of how to do certain things, because sometimes you forget things, so you're gonna want to reference anyway. So if you like this video, leave a like. If you want to see more, subscribe, and peace.